All right, guys, what's up? It's your boy Jackpot Famous. This is the video you all have been waiting for. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Alright guys, let me try to give you a rundown and a recap of what's been going on with all these series, because you know how it's been here at the casino, right? Security's on my tail. So I'm going to discuss a little bit of things before I sit down at a machine. So I'm going to be using all of the elements that I've been using in all of the previous Dragon Link series, the beginner level and the intermediate level. Now, when I relate to the beginner, intermediate level, and an advanced level, that has nothing to do with your gameplay. It has nothing to do with your skill. The reason I call them the beginner, intermediate, and advanced level is because it deals with bankroll size. It deals with the bet sizes that is needed to achieve these levels. So if you don't know what I'm talking about and you've never seen any of these series, you're gonna have to go back and watch the beginner level, which is how to turn 100 into 1000. The intermediate level, Dragon Link tips and tricks. Go watch those and then you'll understand more about what I'm talking about in this video. So just to recap, in the beginner level, I talked about the frequency of the fireballs, the frequency of the bonus round icons, and I talked about the size of the fireballs. In the intermediate level, I talked about kickbacks, blank rounds, and I talked about soft betting. Now, each level I've introduced 3 new techniques. In the advanced level, I'm going to introduce another 3 set of new techniques, plus some additional information that I can't show you here at the casino because it'll probably pretty much get me banned. And you'll have to be careful with the information that I give you and how you use it, because it could potentially get you banned too. And I'll explain it in detail when I get to that, and I'll cut away with screenshots and video clips to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But it's pretty similar to card counting. Card counting is not illegal, but the casinos frown upon it because it gives the players an advantage. Now, it's the same thing with this technique that I use on the advanced level. It's not illegal, but it gives you a player's advantage. All right, so just think of it that way. So in this new series, the advanced level Dragon Link tips and tricks, I'm going to introduce, I want you to think of it this way. First of all, imagine, for guys out there, you get a brand new Versace Gucci suit or a tuxedo. Women, you get a brand new cocktail dress. You get a brand new fancy Dolce & Gabbana dress. But to make it perfect for you, you're gonna have to get it custom tailor made, custom fitted. And in this series, I'm gonna cover all of the elements and the techniques that I use in the previous videos, but I'm gonna custom tailor it. So I want you to think of it that way. So in this new series, the advanced level, I'm gonna introduce the fireballs, the frequency of the fireballs, but I want you to pay attention to the size of the fireballs. It's different in the advanced level. So in other words, think of it as in the higher bet level. You don't have to look for extremely large fireballs, but you're gonna wanna look for fireballs in the 3 to 4x range. All right, I want you to look for fireballs in the 3 to 4x range, because I'm gonna give you an example. If you were in the lower level betting and you were betting on the 1 cent denomination, $1 bet, You oftentimes see $20 fireballs, $50 fireballs, $30 fireballs. Those are like 30x, 20x, 50x. Now imagine if you're betting $25 a spin. A 20x fireball is $500. Now when you're betting large, you don't necessarily see those large fireballs all the time. You'll see fireballs, but not necessarily really, really large. You don't, if you're betting $25 a spin, sometimes you'll see a $1,000 fireball, but it's not common. So don't get hooked on seeing or looking for extremely large fireballs. Look for fireballs within the 3 to 4x range, all right? That's a good indicator. I'm referencing my material because there's a lot to cover. Now, we're gonna pay attention to blank rounds again, but we're not gonna really exceed more than 3 blank rounds. You can, depending on the flow of the game, but we're gonna stick to around 3 blank rounds and then we're gonna move on. We're also gonna introduce something called skip betting, S-K-I-P, skip betting. It's sort of similar to jump betting, but I'll show you when I do it. And it's a great technique that I use in the large betting style because you don't really want to stick around on large bets for a long time if it's not giving you anything, because your money's going to tank quick. Yes, we have ways to resource that, but I'm just trying to give you the techniques that I use on the advanced level. So we're going to look for fireballs in the 3 to 4x range. We're going to introduce skip betting, S-K-I-P. We're going to introduce, we're not blank rounds, right? We're not looking for anything more than 3 blank rounds. So we got fireballs in the 3 to 4x range, blank rounds not to exceed 3 in a row. And we're going to be looking and introducing skip betting. Then, this is the stuff I can't show you. We're going to be talking about asset ID and machine ID tracking. That, my friends, is the biggest tool and technique that I personally use on how I select my machines and how I do it. I know a lot of you say, oh, he can't win all the time. There's no way he can keep continuously doing this and win. I lose too, but I do employ an advantage, and that is through asset ID and machine ID tracking. I'll cut away the screenshots to explain that, but you sort of get the idea just by the way it sounds, right? And then I'm going to talk about machine percentage manipulation, how the casinos do it. You probably get an idea how they do it, but I'm going to cut away to a video that I found on the internet, and I'll give the guy credit who I found this from, but I'm going to talk in depth on how that applies and how it will benefit you, all right? So, once again, we're going to employ all the techniques from the previous series, the beginner and the intermediate level, and we're going to introduce looking for fireballs in 3 to 4x range, no more than 3 blank rounds, skip betting, and the asset ID and machine ID tracking, all right? I know it's a lot of talking, but I want to explain it to you before I sit down, because security's always on my tail. So if I don't get to explain that, you'll know what I'm doing. I'll try to explain as much as I can when I'm playing, but keep that in mind, write it down, or do whatever you need to do to remember those extra techniques that I've introduced in the advanced level. All right, guys? Now here we go. You guys ready for this? You really ready for this? Let's go. All right, guys. You have all the elements to put into play. So I'm not going to cover everything, only the advanced level extra techniques. All right, so here we go. We are going to start with a much bigger bankroll, $2,000. Preferably, I'd like to play with a starting bankroll of $2,500 when I'm doing large betting. But we're just going to go with $2,000 for today. That'll be sufficient enough for what I need to do. So the new elements we're going to introduce are, think of it this way, like I said earlier, it's going to be all the techniques from the previous rounds plus some extra techniques, and it's just going to be modified versions of what I've discussed earlier. So now we're going to be looking for fireballs within the 3 to 4x range. You don't have to specifically pay attention to them being extra large like we did in the earlier sessions. Because, for example, say you're on the 1 cent denomination and you're betting $1. It's common that you'll see a $20 fireball, $30 fireball, $50 fireball. Well, if you see a $20 fireball on a $1 bet, that's 20x your bet. If you see that on a $25 bet, that's 500 bucks. It's not common that you see fireballs that large when you're betting large. It's sort of weird. But you'll notice that you won't see them extremely large. You'll catch them after your bonus round starts, but not initially. So you're sort of not really paying attention to extremely large fireballs. You're paying attention to more or less something 3 to 4x your bet. Then we're going to introducing something new called skip betting. S-K-I-P. It's skip betting. It's pretty much jumping around, but I'm going to show you that. And then we're going to modifying the blank rounds. 3 blank rounds, whether they're in a row or whether they're in like a sort of like a pocket of our session. We're going to move on to the next bet. And then we'll talk about and we'll cut away with the asset ID and machine ID tracking. That is the key. That is how I do it. That is how I select the machine. So for the advanced level, it's large betting, large bankroll. The betting range is going to be $15 to $50. And I've kind of pre-scouted this machine out based on asset ID tracking and machine ID. So I'm not going to particularly go over meticulously how to do it and find the betting range, because it's kind of already geared towards a larger betting range. All right, so $15 to $50. Here we go. And I'm not going to cover everything, and I'm not going to talk about what I've talked about in the beginner level, the intermediate level. You guys already know that. But for anybody that's just jumped in on this video and hasn't seen any of the previous videos and you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go watch that. So I'm going to move quick in this because, you know, security's been on my tail, guys. So I'm looking for the new 3 elements that I've introduced, right? Fireballs within the 3 to 4x range. That's not right, but I'm still going to look for all the other elements, the frequency of things occurring. Fireballs, bonus round icons. If we snag something cool, right? That was 4x our bet. There we go again. Another 4+x our bet. But remember, we're not sticking around with 3 blank rounds in a row. We're gone. That was already 2. That's kind of our 3rd blank round. So another thing we're looking for is kickbacks equal or larger than our bet size, because that's going to keep us afloat. If we do anything with half or less, it's not going to keep us afloat. So we're going to look for kickbacks equal or larger than our bet size. All right, so we're moving on. This is not giving us anything we're looking for. We're going to jump up. Remember, 3 blank rounds. Yeah, those were fireballs. Okay, here's a kickback. So let's see what we got. Look at that. 10x. 10x our bet size. So this is what I'm talking about. You'll notice in the advanced level, well, I call it, you know, the levels for specific reasons. They're only for, you know, large bets and bankroll. But you'll notice this happening. The kickbacks will be significantly large when you're following all the techniques I'm telling you. So we're looking for 3 to 4x. This is not it. I'm going to consider that a blank round. Okay, we're getting some frequency. We got a bonus round icon, but it's kind of a blank round. We didn't get a kickback. There's our 3rd blank round. We'll go 1 more because we got such a large kickback with that 10x. We're going to move on. We're going to jump up. We can go to $50, but I'm going to switch to the $2. I'm going to do a $20 bet. All right, let's see what equal to our bet size. And it's going to be the same. It's just going to be the same thing. We're going to repeat over and over until we find that sweet spot. There we go. It's going to keep us afloat, but by doing it this way. All right, while I'm in this, I'm going to talk about skip betting, what I like to do. And I'll notice a lot that it tends to help, and it actually gives, oh, here we go. So here we go. So let me let this play out. Hopefully security don't come over. I just seen one walk by. He didn't look at me, but I know it's coming. All right, here we go. I'm telling you guys, this is not luck. This is not by accident. Come on, come on. We don't have control in the bonus round, but it's kind of nice to do some wishful thinking. Come on. Come on. Drop a minor, drop a major, drop anything with a word in it. Come on. Mini, minor, major, anything. Anything just to keep it going. All right. And I know, let me let this play out. All right, guys. So it's going to be kind of loud. So let me let this calculate. So I know I didn't do the one technique that I showed you in previous videos where I find the betting range of a machine, because I told you earlier on that the trick that I use is machine ID and asset ID tracking. You pretty much know what that means by the description, but I'll go into it deeper. Like I said, I'll cut away. All right, guys. So this is the secret that I use when I select a machine. This is the information that I'm talking about that the casinos really don't want you doing. So you have to be careful because it could potentially get you banned. It's sort of similar to card counting, if you think of it that way. Like I said, card counting is not illegal, but it's frowned upon in the casinos because it gives the players an advantage. Something similar can be done with slots, and that's through asset ID and machine ID tracking. So what I do is whenever I get a jackpot, they give you the W2G form. So on that form, somewhere on that form, I'll either write it on the front or the back. It doesn't matter. It's just for my reference. I'll show you a screenshot of my W2G forms. Of course, I'm blurring out, sensitive information, but I'll write the name of the machine I was playing at. For this example, these are all Dragon Link tickets. So I'll write the name of the Dragon Link machine I was playing. So I'll write Autumn Moon. I'll write the denomination that I was playing on and the bet size I was making when I hit the jackpot. I'll also put the machine ID and the asset ID of the machine. And what I do is I do this for every ticket. And if you consistently track certain machines, it will sort of give you a graph of how that machine is performing. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on this saying that that is not true. But let me just tell you from experience that I've been doing this for quite a while. And what I do is I'll track my play and the machines I play on over the course of the year. But I'll do it, I'll gauge everything week by week, month by month. And you'll start to see a pattern happen. Certain machines will consistently pay out. Certain machines will consistently hit under certain denominations or certain bet sizes or certain bet ranges. And if you track that, you can narrow down the machines that give you the most probability of hitting a jackpot. Now, I've done this over and over and over, and this is how I do it. A lot of people doubt me and say, you can't hit jackpots all the time. You can't be that consistent of a winner. Well, I do lose, but I also know how to manage my bankroll and supplement it and make up for my losses fairly quickly. Sometimes it'll take me a little longer than I hope for, but that's just the way gambling goes. But my advantage that I use, my player's advantage, if you want to call it that, is through asset ID tracking and machine ID tracking. Another thing casinos do, they have bait machines. And you'll notice them when you guys go to the casinos. You'll know there's certain machines that just never hit. There's certain machines that give you really, really poor payout percentages, really poor bonus rounds, and the kickbacks are not even worth playing. Those are all bait machines. Each casino spreads them out throughout the floor differently. A lot of times, the machines that you can find the less payouts on are the really big commercialized machines. And they usually reference some type of a brand. Yes, you can hit those, but it's far and few. The biggest key point to take away from this is if you frequent the same casino, you will easily be able to identify the machines that don't pay out, the bait machines, and the machines that do pay out. There will also be sections of the casino floor that consistently pays out. Maybe not a specific machine per se, but a certain section. Usually, the high limit rooms or in front of the high limit areas are the ones that tend to pay out a little bit more or have a higher percentage payout than other machines. Obviously, it's to attract the high rollers and to also give them kickbacks enough to continue to play. But like I said, the best way to do it is through asset ID and machine ID tracking. I know I repeat myself, but I sort of want you guys to think about it, remember it, and to burn it into your head that this is how I do it. So be careful with it, because I'm telling you, it could potentially get you banned. All right? There you go. But this is how I picked the machine. I didn't need to test it out because I know. And you'll understand it once I get deeper into it. Well, you'll understand when I show the screenshots and stuff. Like I said, you guys will have to be careful because you don't want to get banned. Alright, so we're about like 9 minutes into the video. So we're up a cool $600. So you just keep repeating this process. So I'm a fan of backup spins. I really believe that works because I've done it numerous times where I'll get a quick bonus round on a backup spin, or I've even gotten hand pays on backup spins. So I'm going to do a couple backup spins because this looks pretty good. It looks pretty active still. There we go. See, it was looking so active that, well, you guys could see it yourself. You're watching this in near real time. That this is how you play the game. This is how I play the game. And we're just going to keep plugging away with the same techniques, the same principles. Go ahead, let the trolls chime in on the comments, guys, because you guys can beat them up. You guys are smart enough. Let them be the ones to make fools of themselves. We're gonna have the last laugh. All of us are gonna have the last laugh, because you know it'd be fantastic if the trolls tried it out. Then they'll get it. So already up $1,000 in what, 10 minutes. So I'm gonna keep playing. There goes security again floating by, but I'm gonna do my backup spins. Looks like they're kind of leaving me alone for a minute, but I don't want to overstep my bounds here. So let me talk about skip betting. Okay, sorry, let me get it. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so we were just on the $20 bet, $2 denomination. When I get a large bonus round or even a jackpot, hand pay, whatever, I begin to soft bet. All that is drastically lowering my bet to an extreme low level, because the machine will pick back up and start giving you kickbacks. Plus it allows the session to cool off and do its thing. And you could jump around. You know, it's just soft betting. You're just betting. I just call it soft betting because it's easy to remember. All it is just betting extremely low. And you're not really too concerned on what's happening because the bets are so low. And I mean, you're not really losing that much money when you just won $1,000 in 10 minutes. So you're just trying to let the machine do its little thing. And we're just, like I said, I call it soft betting. Dance around, play with some low numbers, and usually catch something. Oh, look at that. That would have been fantastic. I mean, that's sort of common what you see. And all I'm trying to, it's like fishing. All I'm trying to do is snag something in the lower level just to let the, uh-oh, somebody was looking at me. Just to let the machine do its thing. All right. So let me talk about skip betting because I didn't get to do it because everything happened so fast. So skip betting on the larger denomination, larger bet sizes for the advanced level is pretty much what it sounds like. It's like you're skipping around betting. But the funny thing is, I find it commonly happening more than not that you'll catch something in the larger bet. So skip betting, all it is say we didn't get any bonus rounds. We did. We got the bonus rounds. We saw what was happening. We saw the flow. So skip betting is $15. Then I'm gonna jump to $20. And then I'm gonna jump around. Then I'm gonna jump to, oh, sorry, I hit $10. Then I'm gonna jump to a $20 bet. Oh, look at that. Let's go one more on a $10 bet. All right, so I'm gonna jump to 20. Then I'm gonna jump to a $30 bet. Then I'm gonna jump to a $40. You saw that? That's fantastic. You'll see this. You'll see a lot of real quick action. Let's go back. So skip betting, you're skipping around. I could have stayed on that, but if you're not getting a lot of action, I was earlier, you know, I'm finding the betting range. You just start skip betting and you'll start catching stuff. It's sort of like fishing, but you're gonna start catching stuff. Machine's pretty active. So hold on, here comes security again. I don't know, they're not really saying nothing, but they're really watching me. All right guys, hang on. I'm gonna cut back on in a second. I don't want to burn out my welcome. Yeah. All right, Chief. All right. Anyways, let me cut you guys back on a second. Hang on. Here we go. Come on, Dragon Link. Come on. Nice. All right. We might have got a hand pay, maybe. What do you guys think? Call it. Let me let it sit for a minute. What do you guys think it's gonna be? What do you guys think? We already got our money back, so you gotta trust the process. I know. So anyways, we got a hand pay. Here we go. All right, there we go. So we We pulled off the hand pay. Let me wait for my hand pay and I'll cut back on. All right, here we go. Oh, you don't have to film this part. You don't have to. Well, I can cut it out.
Okay.
All right.
Your ID in your car.
Okay, thank you.
Alright. Here's your copy of your tax document. You just sign, of course.
Thank you.
And whenever you're ready, second hand.
I am ready.
Alright, love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 400. 5, 10, 15. 15.
Cool. For you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, my brother. All right. Okay, thank you.
I got money on the line, plus I'm clocking it below. I got bitches kissing bitches, all them bitches go explore. I'm feeling way up, I stay up. Put your bitch on my Snapchat, while I make her. She want a chance with me, cause she know I'm a rapper. I give a but I never get feelings, cause shorty, I know what you have.